Imagine stepping onto a plane. The air-conditioned breeze hits your face, refreshing and cool. Flight attendants welcome you with a friendly smile as passengers hustle down the narrow aisle searching for their seats. Right now, most people are distracted. They're scrolling through their phones, juggling bags, or already worrying about finding space in the overhead bins. But here's the secret. The travelers who always look relaxed, confident, and ready for anything, they follow a system. A set of 11 thoughtful, intentional habits that shape their entire flight experience. In this video, I'll take you through every single one. From clever health tips and smart time-saving tricks to safety steps that could literally save your life, stick around until the very end. Number 11 is something even seasoned flyers often miss, but it can make a huge difference when it really counts. Let's dive into the 11 habits that every smart airline passenger does right after they board.
Step 1. Sanitizing the seat area. The very first habit of a savvy traveler is something most passengers skip, either because they feel too tired, too shy, or simply distracted. It's cleaning their personal seat area. And no, this isn't overreacting. Research, including a well-known study from the University of Arizona, found that airplane tray tables have 8 times more bacteria than a typical public toilet seat. Let that sink in for a moment. Planes turn around quickly, and while the crew focuses on restocking supplies, performing safety checks, and general cleaning, they don't have time to thoroughly disinfect every surface between flights. That's why smart passengers always carry a small pack of disinfectant wipes and give their seat a quick wipe before sitting. Here's what they target: the tray and its latch, armrests and recline buttons, seatbelt buckle, touchscreen or remote control, window shade, and the air vent dial. Wiping all these spots is fast, unobtrusive, and keeps you from leaning over germs later. Pro tip: keep a wipe in your hand while adjusting the overhead vent. It's one of the filthiest spots on the plane. This tiny habit takes less than a minute, but drastically reduces your exposure to bacteria. And here's the clever part: it signals to your seatmates that you're organized, clean, and considerate. Trust me, they'll notice and respect it silently.
Step 2. Adjusting the overhead air vent. Next, every experienced flyer takes a moment to adjust the overhead air vent, but they do it with purpose. Why? Because the air inside a plane is a mixture of fresh filtered air and recycled cabin air. The little vents above your seat, called gaspers, can actually act as a shield against airborne germs if used properly. Here's the trick. Set the vent to medium flow and angle it slightly in front of your face rather than blasting it straight on your skin. This creates an invisible air barrier that pushes away floating particles, including bacteria and viruses. Harvard studies have highlighted airflow as one of the most overlooked personal defenses on a plane. Still, many passengers either turn the vent off because it feels chilly or blast themselves directly, which dries out eyes and skin. The smartest move? Strike a balance. Keep air moving around you, but comfortably. One more tip: adjust it before the cabin fills up. It's much easier to do while standing and before your neighbors settle in, rather than awkwardly reaching across later.
Step 3. Checking the safety card and nearest exit. This next habit might seem a little old school, but it's one of the most crucial. Smart travelers always glance at the safety card and locate the nearest exits every single flight. You might be thinking, I've listened to this briefing dozens of times, I know it already. But here's the reality. Every plane is slightly different. Exit locations, door mechanisms, even the brace position can vary depending on the aircraft. The Federal Aviation Administration states that in an emergency, passengers have only 90 seconds to evacuate, just 1.5 minutes. In situations like that, every second is critical. Seasoned flyers count the rows between their seat and the nearest 2 exits. That way, if smoke fills the cabin and visibility drops, they can reach safety by touch alone. Need proof this matters? Look at Air France Flight 358 in 2005. When the plane skidded off the runway in Toronto and caught fire, passengers who had mentally mapped their exit were able to escape quickly, while others froze in panic. It's a tiny 10-second habit, but it could literally save your life. That's why smart passengers never skip it.
Step 4. Efficient overhead bin usage. One of the most stressful parts of boarding is dealing with overhead bins. Most passengers shove bags in sideways, take up extra space, and slow down everyone around them. But experienced travelers have a method for smart luggage storage. Here's how they do it. Place rolling bags wheels first into the overhead bin to save room. If you have a backpack, slide it under the seat in front of you instead of using precious overhead space. Keep a small essentials pouch, headphones, sanitizer, snacks, a power bank, within easy reach in the seat back pocket so you don't have to dig through your bag mid-flight. Here's a clever tip. Store your bag on the side of the bin opposite your seat. When it's time to leave, you can pull it out without fighting the crowd. Smart travelers also followed the golden rule. Don't take up overhead space in rows you're not sitting in. Nothing frustrates flight attendants more than that. A few seconds of planning makes boarding faster and smoother for everyone.
Step 5. Securing valuables and preparing for comfort. The next habit sets seasoned flyers apart from casual travelers, keeping valuables safe and setting up for comfort before the plane even moves. Smart passengers know the seat back pocket is a black hole. Items slide deep, get crushed, or sometimes get left behind when deplaning. That's why passports, wallets, and phones should always stay zipped in a secure bag within arm's reach. If you plan to nap, prepare in advance. Pull out your eye mask, neck pillow, or noise-canceling headphones so you won't bother neighbors later by reaching for the overhead bin in the dark. Pro tip: keep a pen in your pocket on international flights. You'll need it for immigration forms. And when everyone else is asking the flight attendants for one, you'll look like a genius.
Step 6. Hydration. The air inside a plane is extremely dry, often even drier than the Sahara Desert. Humidity can drop to just 10 to 20%, which dehydrates your body faster than you might think. Smart travelers start sipping water as soon as they board. Not soda, not coffee, not alcohol, just plain water. Alcohol and caffeine actually worsen dehydration and can disrupt your sleep. The key is to sip steadily throughout the flight instead of drinking all at once. Here's a genius tip. Carry an empty reusable water bottle through security and fill it at a station before boarding. This way, you're not stuck with tiny plastic cups from the service cart. On longer flights, adding electrolyte tablets can help your body retain water more efficiently. Experienced flyers know this simple step is the secret to arriving feeling refreshed instead of exhausted. Step 7. Setting up personal space. Once seated, pros immediately organize their personal space for comfort. Start by adjusting the headrest wings to support your head. This prevents neck strain while napping. If your seat doesn't have wings, roll up a scarf or a small pillow for the same effect. Next, place a pillow or a rolled-up jacket behind your lower back. Airplane seats rarely give proper lumbar support, and this simple trick makes a huge difference. Smart travelers also pick their in-flight entertainment early. Sometimes systems freeze or reboot later, and choosing a movie or playlist right away avoids that annoyance. Here's another underrated tip. Test your seat recline gently before takeoff. This lets you know how much space you have and prevents accidentally disturbing the person behind you mid-flight. Step 8. Friendly introduction to seatmates. One of the simplest but smartest social moves on a flight is a quick, polite introduction to your seatmates. This doesn't mean starting a 2-hour conversation. Just a friendly hello, a smile, and a small acknowledgement is enough. It creates a positive atmosphere and makes moving around the cabin easier later. For example, if you need to get up mid-flight, it feels much less awkward to tap someone you've already greeted. Small interactions like this can even lead to surprising opportunities. Business contacts, new friends, or even romances sometimes begin on planes. The key is balance.
Start with light conversation, then use body language, like putting on headphones, if you want quiet time. Smart travelers know how to master this balance effortlessly.
Step 9. Circadian rhythm and jet lag hacks. Seasoned long-haul flyers know that jet lag is the real enemy. That's why they start using circadian rhythm tricks as soon as they board. First step, set your watch or phone to your destination's local time. This helps your brain adjust even before takeoff. If it's nighttime at your destination, dim your screen, put on an eye mask, and act as if it's already night. If it's morning, keep yourself awake with bright light exposure. Some frequent flyers even wear sunglasses on overnight flights to trick their body into thinking it's nighttime sooner. These small habits help minimize the crash you feel after landing and make the transition smoother.
Step 10. Note restrooms and flight attendants. Smart travelers always take a moment to notice two key things: the location of the nearest restrooms and which flight attendants are responsible for their section. This might seem minor, but it really matters. If you suddenly need to use the restroom during turbulence, knowing the closest one saves you from awkward walks down the aisle. Paying attention to the crew's positions also tells you exactly who to approach if you need help. Flight attendants notice passengers who are observant and respectful. Here's a subtle tip. If you need extra water, blankets, or any assistance later in the flight, being polite and attentive from the start often earns you better, faster service throughout the journey.
Step 11. Mental rehearsal of emergency plan. Finally, here's a habit almost nobody talks about, but every smart traveler does: mentally rehearsing the emergency plan. It sounds intense, but it only takes about 10 seconds. Make sure your seatbelt is fastened, remind yourself where the nearest exits are, and quickly picture how you'd move if an evacuation was needed. Psychologists call this mental rehearsal, and studies show it significantly improves reaction time in emergencies. Take U.S. Airways Flight 1549, the Miracle on the Hudson, as an example. Passengers who had mentally prepared and paid attention to safety instructions evacuated faster, which made all the difference in those freezing waters. You may never need it, but if you do, those few seconds could literally save your life.
So there you have it, 11 simple, deliberate habits that separate smart, seasoned travelers from the rest. They sanitize strategically, use air vents wisely, respect safety, and set up their space before the plane even leaves the ground. Which of these habits do you already follow? And which ones will you try on your next flight? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your travel tips. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. It helps more people discover Journey Genius and join our growing community of smart travelers. For more insider tips and fascinating travel hacks, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Until next time, may your journeys be smooth, your seats comfortable, and your skies always clear.